The GAA in Monaghan was founded at a special meeting in O'Neill's Hotel, Carrickmacross, in December of 1887. Later it was decided to hold a championship for that year, but that decision was later rescinded, and Monaghan held their first championship in 1888, with Inniskeen the eventual winners, and that club going on to win the first Ulster Senior Championship when they beat the Cavan champions Maghera McFinn's after a replay. Monaghan emerged to become one of the strongest teams on the playing fields of Ulster, and in the late 20s they hit a golden period, a period often referred to as the Four Glorious Years, that culminated with the county's appearance in their first and so far only All-Ireland Senior Football Championship final, that of 1930. But on the day they came up against a very strong, talented Kerry team, and they suffered a very heavy reverse at the hands of the men from the kingdom. And in 1938, with a very young team, they won the championship against the odds and went on to the All-Ireland semi-final against Galway in Monaghan GAA, a game that was to see Micheál O'Hare make his first radio commentary. Despite their playing strength, however, and the fact that that was a young team, it was to be another 41 years before Monaghan won the Ulster Senior Championship title again in 1979. In the meantime, some of the highlights for them were victories in the McKenna Cup, an appearance in the home All-Ireland final of 1947 when they played Cork in Croke Park, and a National Football League quarter-final meeting with Meath in Croke Park in 1951. At club level, the 1950s is often referred to as the Ballybay-Clontibret era, with those two clubs contesting most of the senior championship finals of that decade, and indeed a number of those finals went to replays. 1951 also saw the county take part in the big GAA pilgrimage to Lourdes, but that exercise didn't prove fruitful for another few years when Monaghan took their first national title, the All-Ireland Junior Championship of 1956. But indeed other events in 1954 and 55 had conspired to give Monaghan a strong team at junior level for that particular competition. That All-Ireland Junior Championship in 1956 was to be Monaghan's last championship silverware until 1979, when the county again emerged from the Ulster Series as champions with victory over Donegal, with a team backboned by a number of players from the Scottstown club that had earlier in the year reached the All-Ireland club final, where they came up against Nemo Rangers of Cork on St Patrick's Day in Croke Park, in a game that is still referred to as the game in the snow.
Kick way out to the far side of the field. Sean McCrudden for Scottstown. Sean's kick across to the centre and to Scottstown in the early stages. We're still in the first minute. This is a chance here for the left half forward, Cormac Morgan, the captain as well. There he is, 1 point for Scottstown, scored by the captain Cormac Morgan. This is Billy Morgan with the kick out for Nemo Rangers. Not a good kick, missed by Dennis O'Driscoll. Brian Murphy out towards Sean McCrudden. This is Sean McCrudden, the oldest man on the Scottstown team at 31 years of age, a veteran county player. Across this side of the field, Jimmy Barrett. Barrett getting it in towards Noel Morgan. Noel Morgan lets it run inside. Kieran Collins trying to get it. Jim Traynor. Jim is on the ground and it's caught by the full-back there, Jerry McCarville. This is the Scottstown full-back.
So no All-Ireland glory for Scottstown, but quite a number of their players were to play a significant part in Monaghan regaining the Ulster Senior Football Championship title when they defeated Donegal in the final in Clones in July of 1979, getting back to the All-Ireland stage, but again coming up against the mighty men from the kingdom.
This is the Anglo-Celt Cup, the supreme prize in Ulster football, which Monaghan and Donegal do battle for here in Centenary Park in Clones. And it's on this spot, shortly before 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, that this cup will be presented to the winning captain. Will it be Brendan Brady of Monaghan or Finian Ward of Donegal? The entire Monaghan panel here in O'Neill Park, Clontibret, for a training session when we visited the county during the week. They've been under the guidance of Sean McCaig, their team manager, who's been largely responsible for taking the side so far this summer. He's in charge of the coaching, advising, encouraging and coaxing as they went through the last exercises before the final. Although Monaghan are the surprise finalists this year, they do of course have a long tradition behind them. But all that's a long time ago. 41 years, in fact, since they won the Ulster Championship. And that means that they've never had this trophy, which was presented in the early 60s to replace the earlier Anglo-Celt Cup, which now belongs to Cavan. Brendan Brady, the Monaghan captain, talked about why, after all these years, they're now successful.
Well, we feel that in the next couple of years we're not going to have any better panel than we have at the moment. And if we were ever going to make a determined effort, that it would have to come now.
Is it just a matter of luck that you've got so many good players together at the same time?
I think we've always had the players. It's never been a problem, our panel. But unfortunately, the moulding of them into a team has always been a problem for us.
It must have been some sort of a fillip to the county that your county champions could get to an All-Ireland club final earlier in the year.
Of course, it was a great boost and had the confidence of all the boys, in particular the Scotstown team. And it was great that these fellas could sort of come along, so many of them in the panel, and you know, give a lift, give a boost to the morale of the team.
I know you and others have said before now, as the championship went on, that the main thing you lacked was belief in your own ability.
Well, of course, that was one of our problems. You know, we got fellas going out who were equally as good as the player they were playing on, but didn't believe that, you know, didn't think that. And through playing, I played club football myself in Dublin, and I found that I've played against a fair few of the Dublin team, and that, well, that any of our players were nearly equally as good, some of them better than some of the players we played against.
Can you see in the team a lot of improvement now since the very first round? As you know, has the confidence grown with each victory?
The confidence has grown. I think the teamwork is getting better, and I still think can get better. And I don't think this is a team of just this year. I think we've got a future.
Yeah. You're reasonably young.
The panel, in actual fact, most of them are between an age group, I suppose, of around 25, 26, 27, you know.
And of course, compared with Donegal, Monaghan does have a long tradition behind it. I know it's a long, long time ago, but you have a tradition that Donegal certainly hasn't got.
Well, we have, all right. We have, I believe, we're second to Cavan in Ulster titles at the moment. Tradition won't help us, I don't think. I think we're going to have to win the match in 70 minutes football. And
it's a long, long while ago, though, 41 years since the last Ulster title.
It's been quite a while, all right, but, you know, the wait will be worthwhile if we walk off next Sunday evening.
Finally, the point was made to us earlier today in Clones that Clones pitch, you having a home venue, won't mean that much because, in fact, most of you don't play very often in Clones.
Well, I've been on the county panel for about 7 years, and I think I've played on Clones pitch about 3 times for the county in that period. So, obviously, the fellas Clones is not a great advantage to us.
Here, Jerry McCarville, Damien McBride and Jean Finnegan taking part in some of the hand-passing practice they hope will help them thwart Donegal's ambitions. And the rest of the squad are spread across O'Neill Park carrying out other exercises set for them by Sean McCaig. And because it's such a long, long time since any side carried the Monaghan colours into the provincial final, there was a distinct air of excitement and enjoyment in the happy atmosphere surrounding this training ground. There was also an unmistakable impression of eager anticipation among the players, as if they couldn't wait for the rest of the week to pass quickly enough so that they could get to Clones for the biggest test of their career so far. And there were none keener than their very experienced right half-back, Paddy Kerr. I asked him if they're now satisfied that all the work of recent months had been worthwhile.
Well, we've really won nothing yet, you know. We've the last game to go. We beat probably the 2 best teams in Ulster, or the 2 teams on form anyway, and we still have to beat 1 to win it out yet.
That must be a big help to you, though, that it would appear you've come through the stronger path to the final than Donegal, say.
Yeah, but you can become very complacent. You still have that 1 hurdle to cross yet, and we've really won nothing yet.
Have you found that the players were willing to work that much harder as they won each game?
Well, I suppose the extra incentive was there when we had to play teams like Down in Armagh, but you can become, you know, they can work a little bit easier now and they think they have it won, but that's a very dangerous thing to do at this stage.
Physically, you're very strong players, apart from any ability at all. There's, you know, you're one of the smallest players in the team. Do you think this is a big advantage to you?
Yeah, well, we haven't got the size, so we're dependent on our other assets, and that's probably going hard, and other people interpret that as being strong. But it's mostly drive that we have, you know, probably more drive than other teams. That
drive, of course, comes from determination. You made the point to me that the main thing Monaghan footballers were lacking was a belief in themselves, and that must be stronger and stronger now as you go through the Ulster Championship.
Yeah, well, I think that's true, all right, Mick, because, well, we played for Monaghan there. I know there were they were short and they were after playing games. But the forwards knocked up a good score, so it seems to indicate that they're getting more confidence already.
And obviously you were telling them for some time that they were as good as players anywhere else. Now they're able to prove it for themselves.
Yeah, well, I hope they're fit to prove it on Sunday.
As I said to Brendan Brady, 41 years is a long time to wait for a title, isn't it?
It is. It's an awful long time. It's too long. Nobody should have to wait that long.
Well, now Monaghan hope to bridge a gap of 41 years by regaining the championship this weekend. And these are the men who carry the county's hopes after 4 decades of emptiness in the Ulster title race. It's a side with an average age of 25.5 years, and they've been working strenuously since the build-up to the McKenna Cup final in May. And this video cassette equipment, which we saw them use in Castleblaney at the start of the championship, has played an important part in their preparations throughout this summer. That was meant for Willie Walsh, but it's cut off by Eamon Tavi. Now Monaghan breaking away. Tavi trying to set up something for them. Brendan Brady here, well fielded, but knocked away from him. Des Mulligan to Kevin Traynor. This is Brendan Brady, and that's the first score for them. Jerry McCarville here to take it. He's the man who moved out to midfield from full-back, releasing Brendan Brady for the left corner forward post. That's short one to Tom Moyne. Tom with the shot. Brendan Brady again. Back to Gene Finnegan. Is that the equaliser from Gene? That's level. Well taken by Eamon Tavi and cleared by the left half-back. Tom Moyne trying to knock it away. This is a good chance for Kevin Traynor. He's got Brendan Brady inside him and Anthony McArdle. Kevin Traynor still. It must be a goal. No, the goalkeeper gets to it. Oh, Kevin tried to do it too nicely. Eamon Tavi's kick out was into the hands of Tom Moyne, son of a former great star. This is Kevin Traynor, and that's the point from Kevin. That was very quickly done. Pádraig Duffy, who does public relations for Monaghan, has been searching through some old newspapers. Pádraig, you're busy looking up some history from 38?
That's right, Mick, looking up the files of the Northern Standard of the day.
What sort of a report did it get, that All-Ireland semi-final?
Just 1.5 columns. One interesting note, predicting that although Monaghan lost, team building was going very well and perseverance on the same line might bring greater honours. But I'm afraid it's taken 41 years for those honours to arrive.
This week we took 3 of the men from that match on a nostalgic visit back to Mullingar. John Dunn, who was captain of the 1938 Galway team. Father Enda McCormack, as a young student in 38, was one of the Monaghan forwards. And Michael O'Hare, commentator then as now, did the radio commentary on that semi-final. Michael, of course, had just left school and was about to start on his broadcasting career, having successfully passed microphone tests earlier that summer. This was his first semi-final, so that day in Mullingar was a very big occasion for him.
It was, Mick. You know, I was only a schoolboy at the time, and that's literally true. And I sat in a little box over there on the side. My father, Lord of Mercy, and sat on the steps outside, and the actual broadcast, I think, took more out of him than it did out of me. But what really got me was that when I went home, and on my way home, I was absolutely convinced that I had made the greatest fool of myself that anybody ever had done. During the match, it didn't cross my mind that I was talking to thousands of people, but I was absolutely convinced I'd made a complete hames of it.
Well, obviously somebody must have thought you didn't. I remember you telling us some months ago that in fact there were many years passed before you ever came across a Monaghan team from the point of view of a commentary afterwards.
Well, I think that the next Monaghan team I broadcast was about 1952, that Ulster final against Cavan.
Well, John Dunn, you captained the Galway team. Did you have any contact at all with Michael on the day of the game? Did he come into your dressing room, or did you hear of him afterwards or see him?
No, I never saw him. I knew he was broadcasting the game, but I never saw him. But a remark going home, we came by train that day, and one of our officials said, "Did you see the little boy that broadcast today?" I said, "I didn't, I hadn't time."
Well, that was literally true, because he was a little boy of 18.
Well, as he says himself, it's a few years ago.
Yeah. Can you remember any of the details of the game? I know you won by 7 points. Can you remember, did Monaghan give you a hard test?
No, I thought we were always in front. And of course we were favourites, naturally. We were after winning the 34 All-Ireland with some of that team, and we won the 31 All-Ireland Junior.
And of course that was a team of marvellous names. You went on to win the title.
Brendan Nestor and Bobby Beggs, and we had Mick Conair, and we had all those people. Great names, great players at that time.
We had a strong team in 38, and I think our backs played marvellously well. I mean, you had a fellow called Nestor, and you had Fallon. Was Fallon on the team? Flavin, that's right. And Rory Johnson and Pat Hughes and company, they were simply, Jack Crawley, God rest him, they were simply marvellous in defence. I think it was the forwards, of whom I was one, that let the team down for the very reason that we were disciplined desperately to cling to our men.
Yeah.
Now, a forward clinging to his man
It's all against.
is against the situation in Gaelic football. You must simply get away from him. You don't mark him, as they say.
What about, John, the Monaghan team going in against Kerry? And, you know, you've brought a lot of Galway teams into Croke Park as coach and trainer over the years. What advice would you give this Monaghan team next Sunday?
Well, they'd have to try and forget all about Kerry, but that's a hard thing to do when you go into a final or a semi-final. And play their usual game. And the first essential thing is to get the ball anyway. And I'm sure they'll be well coached in that respect.
Well, they did that very well in the first 15-20 minutes of the Ulster final and against Down. This was the great thing about them. Michael, you saw the Ulster final. They went out and they were full of steam.
They were full of steam, but the one thing that worried me in the Ulster final was that early in the second half, some of that steam seemed to get turned off. Now, that may have been because they were leading by so much at half-time and the concentration went. But you daren't let the concentration go against Kerry. To go back to 38 for just 1 minute, Mick, there's one incident that sticks in my mind, and I don't know whether Father Enda or John remember it or not, but there was a big pool of water down outside that goal down there on the left. It wouldn't be there nowadays, the ground is looked after so well. But there was a huge pool of water after a lot of rain. And Jackie Flavin, who was a very flash kind of footballer, came in several times toe to hand. And this time Rex Keelahan said, "You're not going to do that again." And when Jackie came in, he upended Jackie and planted him right in the middle of the pool, much to the delight, if you like, of the Monaghan supporters, who by this time had decided that, well, at least we've wet Jackie Flavin if we haven't won an All-Ireland semi-final.
Since then, Monaghan have been among the poor relations of football. Pádraig Duffy again.
Yeah, I think so. We had developed an inferiority complex over the years, and it's only winning the Ulster title that has managed to shake that.
Is it going to mean much to club football and, say, the youth particularly?
Oh, it's bound to. Before this, there wasn't a great incentive for youngsters to play for a Monaghan team that was continually being defeated. That's all changed.
And yet the county has this great tradition, you know, way back in the 30s and that. Yourselves and Cavan, in fact, were the only two that won Ulster titles.
Yeah, but that tradition goes so far back that the young people of today meant absolutely nothing. It just didn't appeal to them.
But do you think that sort of tradition, if so far back now, means anything to the team on Sunday?
No, they live on their own reputations and on their own ability. I don't think it'll be either a help or a hindrance.
Hugo Clarkin, one of the midfielders, has an answer for those who give Monaghan no chance.
Galway didn't seem to have much chance last Sunday. We didn't seem to have much chance when we went out against Down in the first round, when we went out against Armagh in the semi-final. Yet both Galway pulled through and we pulled through as well. I think we have as good a chance as anybody could be expected to have against Kerry at this time of the year.
Eamon, after all the years you've been on the Monaghan team, did you ever think that this would happen in your time?
Not after 1975 when Derry beat us in the semi-final. I didn't think that I'd ever get any further than that.
And what's the most important feature of the team this summer, particularly?
I'd say it's the dedication of all the panel, the players and the rest. You know, there's a great panel. And I think that means an awful lot. And Paddy Kerr is doing a great job in training, you know.
But you have had the same group of players for 4 or 5 years, yet it hasn't happened up to now. Why is that?
We hadn't as good a panel, I'd say. We hadn't as good, we'd say 25 or 26 players, you know. We may have had 15 or 16, and if we lost one, well then we had nobody to replace it. Now we have.
Now, you know a lot of these Kerry players. You were at school with them in Thomond College, so they're not strangers to you.
No, I was in college with Pat Spillane, Mickey Spillane. Ogie Moran was there for a year, and in fact I think the Kerry selectors have made a big error in leaving out Ogie Moran, because from my knowledge of them all, I think he's the best of them. He's a really fabulous footballer. And
does knowing and having played with these number of the Kerry men, does it mean that you won't have the same inferiority complex, if you like, against them on Sunday as if you didn't know them?
Not really. I think that the Kerry players are as probably the best set of players in the country at this present time, but I know that having played with them, that some of the Monaghan players are better or as good as the Kerry players.
Despite their heavy defeat by Kerry in the All-Ireland semi-final, Monaghan football was certainly beginning to show signs of improvement, and an increasingly effective performance in their National League matches. But it was the Centenary Cup competition of 1984 that really saw Monaghan hit the headlines in a big way.
Bernie Murray. Here's a chance now for Monaghan. What can they do with this one? Must score, but a fine save by Martin Furlong. Well, that was a golden opportunity for Monaghan to score a goal, but Martin Furlong did extremely well to smother the ball. The ball put out by Monaghan's number 3, Jerry McCarville. Mickey Caulfield, Nudie Hughes. Ball been called for inside Kevin Traynor. Now what can Monaghan do this time? Chance on here for Bernie Murray. Yes, fine goal, superb play. The build-up was excellent by Monaghan. The ball came across to number 15, Bernie Murray, and he absolutely buried it. And Offaly get it clear. Here's Sean Lowry. Only as far as Eamon McEnany. McEnany with a chance now, and it goes straight over. Well taken point by Eamon McEnany for Monaghan. Kevin McNeil, the Monaghan goalkeeper. Here's a chance now for Monaghan. Into Bernie Murray, the ball breaks to his number 11, Ray McCarran, and he does it. And the referee calls half-time. And so it's Monaghan who go in front, and so far showing that their victory over Mayo last Sunday was no flash in the pan. And certainly Monaghan are full value for that lead. At half-time they lead by 1 goal and 7 points to Offaly's 4 points. 1-8 to 10 points, Monaghan lead by a point. And that point seems to certainly have encouraged them. The ball breaks from the free to Niall McKenna. Kieran Finlay now for Monaghan. And yes, he gets the point. Well, the angle was so difficult, but Kieran Finlay somehow managed to get it between the posts. And Monaghan come roaring back. And Monaghan seem to have found their spirit once again. Niall McKenna inside to Kieran Finlay, and he's very accurate from this distance. And yes, the goalkeeper just managed to put it over, but Kieran Finlay did very well. So another point to Monaghan, and their fans are beginning to roar now. And what a win this would be for Monaghan. They beat Mayo last Sunday. Can they do it against Offaly today? But Offaly come forward once again. Here's Richie Connor. The ball comes to McCarville. He cuts it out. And the referee blows full time. Just look at Kevin McNeil and Jerry McCarville. Kevin McNeil, one of the heroes of a famous Monaghan victory. The Monaghan fans come racing onto the field. A shock win for Monaghan then, and all credit to them for the determination they've shown this afternoon. and so Monaghan, and who would have forecasted just a couple of weeks ago, are through to the semi-finals. And a place in next Sunday's final awaits the winner of today's semi-finals. Bernie Murray for Monaghan. The attack broken down though. And here's an early chance for Damien Cassidy. He shoots and he scores! Damien Cassidy gets Derry off to a glorious start. Last Sunday they scored a goal within 30 seconds of the start, and they've done it again today. What a sensational start. Here come Monaghan now, Mickey Caulfield. And Nudie Hughes has taken down the ground here at Croke Park, certainly very hard after this long dry spell. The free to be taken by Kieran Finlay, who did so well when he came on as a sub last Sunday. And that one goes in off the upright. Eamon McEnany. Mickey Caulfield. Here's Bernie Murray, the man who got the goal against Offaly last week. What can he do this time? That's a good chance now. The ball is well taken by Ray McCarron. The referee looking at his watch very shortly now will call for half-time. In fact, he does so. And so at half-time, it's Derry who go in front after those magnificent wins over Cork and Kerry and their runaway win over Wicklow. They've certainly emerged as a side to be reckoned with. Doherty. Here's Flanagan for Monaghan. Long ball. Ray McCarron loses his man. It beats everybody, but Nudie Hughes has it. What can Hughes do now? Nudie Hughes, he looks up and he gets the point. And the sides are now level. There's less than 2 minutes remaining in the match. Kieran Finlay, the number 10, takes it quickly to Hughes. Finlay gets it again. The ball inside to McCarron. This is good play by Monaghan. And McCarron gets the point. That was superb play by Monaghan, particularly at this late stage of the game. They're really playing as if it's only the first few minutes of this match. Tremendous fitness.
Well, after the match, I spoke to one of the stars of Monaghan's victory today, Ray McCarron, and also to their team manager, Sean McCaig. First, I put it to Sean McCaig that for a while towards the end of normal time, it didn't look like Monaghan were going to make it.
That is true. There were periods in the game when we faded, when Derry had a monopoly of the ball around midfield. Then our forwards, our half-forward line in particular, came in for the breaks, and we set up the chances towards the end. Indeed, in the final minute, we could have had the match won.
Mind you, that point by Nudie Hughes was a very important one for you, the equalising.
Nudie's a great wee man like that. He always can pop up and put over them points when you really do need them. But that point was, I think, was the point of the match. Like, it really put us back in there.
It beats everybody, but Nudie Hughes has it. What can Hughes do now? Nudie Hughes, he looks up and he gets the point, and the sides are now level.
So in extra time then, what was the difference between the two sides? How did Monaghan stay on that bit better? Fitter perhaps?
We are very fit. We've got a very excellent trainer and coach in Niall Mina, and I'm sure that the fellas feel themselves that all the work he's put them through recently is now justified. I think also that in the end the real Monaghan heart came out, because while the fellas were tired, they were still prepared to give it everything up to the final minutes.
Well, of course, last Sunday you had that marvellous win over Offaly, then again here today. Monaghan look far more determined to win this Centenary Cup than most of the teams we've seen.
Yes, Monaghan treat every game in a determined way. We consider that there's no such thing as a fool match. I think that's the only frame of mind in which teams can play. I think we also showed that we're not just all determination. We have quite a few skillful players, about 15 of them, and when they get it together, they're a match for anyone.
And next Sunday, Sean?
I feel that next Sunday we'll be looking forward to the game. We certainly won't be overawed by the occasion.
Well, I don't know. We played Meath in the quarter-finals of the National League, and unfortunately they beat us, but I think it'll be a good, tough, hard game, and Meath will be favourites, but I'd be quietly confident now, and I hope now that we have got the final that we'll put up a great show. And it's great preparation now for the championship, which is what we're really looking to now. So hopefully next Sunday we'll do as well.
Up goes Castles. Jerry McEntee, but loses out to Clarkin. Clarkin, nice ball to Hughes. Back to Clarkin again. Chance for Monaghan, and it's over. Splendid opening to the game as Clarkin puts Monaghan in front. And free to be taken by Declan Flanagan. This could be dangerous. Breaks to Nudie Hughes. Hughes sends it out wide. McEntee goes in for it, but still Monaghan have it. Here's Kieran Finlay, and he gets the point. Kieran Finlay, what an accurate kicker he is. Finlay once more for Monaghan, tremendous catch. Still Finlay, and tries another one and gets it once again. What a start for Kieran Finlay, what a start for Monaghan. They lead by 3 points and just 3.5 minutes gone. Well, we've had a late tackle there, the referee going to check with his umpire. Mickey Caulfield was the man injured now. Let's see what referee Seamus Aldridge will do. He's going to speak to Michael Lyons. And the referee calls for the ball, and at half-time the sides go in at 6 points each. Well, Meath started as firm favourites, but it certainly looks as if they're going to have to fight all the way against this determined Monaghan side. And so all to play for in the second half as these two teams bid to win this historic competition. Bernie Murray for Monaghan. Nudie Hughes is looking for it. Ray McCarran. McCarran finds McEnany. McEnany sends it in only as far as O'Connell. Nudie Hughes is after him. Still O'Connell comes away with the ball and he has space. O'Connell, long ball for O'Rourke to run for. Matty McCabe is behind him if you can see him, but McCarville comes across. Jerry McCarville. Up goes Hayes, wins it for Meath. O'Rourke. And the referee is going to take the name of Jerry McCarville for that tackle on Colm O'Rourke. Now Liam Smith will attempt to get the first score of the second half. And he does so. Liam Smith puts Meath back in front. Anthony McArdle. Still McArdle. Nudie Hughes. He has Murray ahead of him. Gets it back to McArdle. Inside to Murray. Hughes has it again. Here's Brendan Murray. Bernie Murray. Brendan Murray. And Nudie Hughes sends it back in again. And it's a point to Nudie Hughes and to Monaghan. So now just 2 points in it. 4 minutes remaining, and the Monaghan fans believe that it's not all over yet. And just listen to the roar of the Monaghan fans. They sense that perhaps their team can fight back yet again, as they've done so often in the past of this competition. And the referee has called play back. This move will count for nothing. And as you can see there, the man down injured is Pádraig Finnerty. Jerry McCarville. Coyle. McEntee. McCarville has it. Finds Flanagan. Declan Flanagan anxious to get Monaghan on the move. And he finds Clarkin. Clarkin to Finlay. Finlay loses Martin O'Connell. Still Finlay. That was wild. Well, at this stage of the game, Kieran Finlay would have been hoping to do better than that. Fay. And the referee calls for the ball. And that's it.
So, Monaghan denied by a mere 2 points in the final of the Centenary Cup. But it was a competition that had seen Monaghan produce a string of performances that were to lead on to even greater things in the not too distant future. An increasingly effective league campaign saw Monaghan promoted to Division 1 for the first time in their history when they drew with Offaly in Clones, and went on from there to reach their first ever National League final, taking on Armagh in Croke Park, where a goal from a penalty by Eamon McEnany in the early stages of the game set up Monaghan for their historic victory. As National League champions, Monaghan were hailed far and wide and were the toast of every GAA supporter in the county. But it was championship honours that Monaghan craved, and they were back on the Ulster stage in the summer of '85 when they took on Derry in the Ulster Senior Championship final.
Dermot McNichol was looking for his first touch, but Nudie Hughes had gone out to help from Monaghan as he usually does. A player who covers an unbelievable amount of ground. Nudie Hughes with the first scoring chance. It's a great chance and it's a great score. Well taken by Nudie Hughes. It does have to be said, of course, that they are playing against a slight wind today, but it's not such a great factor, and I don't think the players will be too conscious of it. Eamon McEnany, his first touch, gets into a scoring position. Left-footed, looked up, had the point. And Eamon McEnany, who had been quiet so far, certainly made an impact when he got the chance just then. But Monaghan can still score. Oh, the block down was excellently executed there. It might still come from Monaghan. Ray McCarn, not as accurate today with the left boot as he was against Armagh in that drawn semi-final. Brendan Brady, through towards Eamon McEnany. Oh, this is a sticky situation for Derry. McEnany with the punch, it's in the net. The goal will be allowed. Oh, John Mackle, the Derry goalkeeper, will not be happy with that. And it's half-time here in Centenary Park in Clones. Michael Greenan blew the whistle there for half-time, with Monaghan leading by 1-5 to 5 points. Well, that's the sign of a good team, that they can counter-attack effectively. Michael O'Dowd. Brendan Brady from Monaghan. Eamon Murphy to help from Monaghan. Ray McCarn. Oh, this is dangerous. Knocked through and put in the net by Eamon McEnany. That's his second goal. That's Monaghan's second goal. That surely is the crucial score of this Ulster final so far. 8.5 minutes gone in the second half. Eamon McEnany in possession again. Eamon McEnany will try to work through for a point. He'd be happy with the point to go with those 2 goals, and he gets it. That's another good score for Eamon McEnany. And no doubt they'll learn from this experience. And perhaps their day might not be done yet either. Here's Ewan Rafferty. Oh, Ewan Rafferty, a very good run. Can he get in the shot? Oh, he can, and Paddy Linden did so well to deflect it.
And on to another meeting in an All-Ireland semi-final with the mighty Kerry.
Anxious to establish a foothold in there. Here's Nudie Hughes. He was right corner back in 1979. He scored a point and he's got the opening point here. Nudie Hughes, the ever popular Nudie, after 5 minutes gives Monaghan the lead. Good catch by Declan Flanagan. Michael O'Dowd opening up the play down towards Eamon Murphy. This start will give them a belief in themselves. Ray McCarron kicking, and it's over the bar. There are 11 minutes gone, and Monaghan hold a 2-point lead. Well, he's stopping the supply of ball reaching Owen Liston so far. The cheers are for him. They're now for Hugo Clarkin. Nudie Hughes has moved out into the middle of the field to establish some kind of authority out there. As we watch Ray McCarron in action, scorer of the last point, kicking this beautifully. Oh, that was from 40 metres, and Monaghan are 3 points to the good. Ray McCarron's second point. Well, this is really putting it up to the All-Ireland holders. Is a shot on in Croke Park for the second Sunday in succession. So, Eamon McEnany here, who's scored 3 goals and 16 points in this year's championship. And Monaghan, it goes off the post when Monaghan nearly went 4 points ahead. They may yet. Ray McCarron is the extra man. There's the kick, and that's the point. Ray McCarron has scored 3 of Monaghan's 4 points. There's no doubt in my mind this Kerry team is unnerved. That goal was a very fortunate one. It should have brought them right back into it. But Monaghan now trying to grasp the initiative again. That's McEnany's kick. And that's Tom Spillane coming with determination from his goal. But when he hand-passed it, nobody was expecting it. Brendan Murray. Michael O'Dowd, does the goal count? It does. Well, at this stage, Monaghan need a bit of direction and a bit of inspiration from people like Hugo Clarkin. They haven't scored yet in the second half, but here's Eamon Murphy, they have now! The goal they wanted has come. They're back in front again. Just a minute after Owen Liston had equalised, Eamon Murphy has scored and Monaghan lead by a goal. So, what a position to be in for Eamon McEnany. He must score from this kick, otherwise Monaghan are out of the All-Ireland final. He must score directly. He's done it! Oh, what a kick that was! They're all level. Thanks to Eamon McEnany, it's Kerry 112, Monaghan 2-9. They surely will live now to fight another day. So from a part of Croke Park that Eamon McEnany must know pretty well, 45-metre line, bidding for Monaghan's first score. And finally, 15-man Monaghan score after 27 minutes. Monaghan 1 point, Kerry 2 goals and 3. Well, he beat Ger Lynch in the opening 20 minutes of the drawn game and scored 3 good points. And Ger Lynch is determined this time that it won't happen again. So McCarron swinging it in and swinging it over. So Monaghan, who couldn't score in the opening 27 minutes, have now scored 2 points inside a minute. This is about 30 metres out. McEnany looking for and getting Monaghan's 3rd point. Eamon McEnany's 2nd, and it comes 2.5 minutes before half-time. So there's 2 goals between them. Gene Sherry with 2 minutes to go to half-time. Eamon Murphy He got a fine goal in the second half the last day. Ray McCarron here bottled up by a very eager Kerry defence. Brendan Murray forward for Ray McCarron. He's got it, their 4th point. Slowly but surely, Monaghan whittling back that lead. Ray McCarron's 2nd point. They've been relentlessly pursued by each and every one of the Kerry players. Here's Hugo Clark, one of the survivors from '79 when they were beaten by 22 points. Nudie Hughes is free. He's not any longer. Receiving special attention as Michael O'Dowd rifles in, and Monaghan have scored their 1st point of the second half. Remember, 2 goals between them, a quarter of an hour remaining, and every kick at this stage is vital. Curling it in with impeccable accuracy. And it's celebration time for the fans again, but they know there's a long road back. That's Eamon Murphy out there in the middle of the field. Nudie Hughes. Here's Brendan Murray, the man who should be marking Pat Spillane, and the man who scores. Brendan Murray's 1st score, but an oh-so-vital one, because it now brings Monaghan back to 4 points. David Byrne, who's been a disappointment, Eamon McEnany, who's been unable to get in a scoring act on a regular basis, but this time kicking a very important point. McCarville towards Nudie Hughes, runs on for David Byrne, looking for and getting the point. It won't make too much of a difference with just a minute remaining, however. 2-8 to 10 points, 4 points between them.
The following year saw Monaghan back in the National Football League final when they played Laois in Croke Park, only to be denied by the narrowest of margins after a titanic struggle.
It's a goal! Ray McCarron, the number 10. Martin Dempsey clears it out towards Liam Irwin, but the man to get it is Kieran Murray. Kieran now, Monaghan everywhere trying to get a score. Kieran Murray racing through, 30 metre out, a shot from Murray, but it's going to go to the right. No, it's a lovely pint. A lovely pint by Monaghan and Kieran Murray. Paddy Lendon, the man to kick it out again for Monaghan. He will be hoping that the ball won't be coming in too often his way. Paddy kicks it out a long way in the far out. The Laoisman goes for the ball, but he loses it towards Kevin Carraher. Kevin sends it very high, allowing for the win to get it, but the Laoisman gets the ball and loses it. It's gone right to the number 13, and that's Michael Coffey. A shot, great save! A great save by Martin Conroy. Oh, what a save by Martin Conroy as Eamon Murphy races through. A shot from Murphy. What a save from Martin Conroy. Ray McCarron, a shot, great save. Oh, Martin Conroy just had it saved, but it got in past him. A very good one from Eamon, curling right in. It's gone over the bar. A lovely point for Monaghan by Eamon McEnany. Free for Monaghan. Quickly taken on the far side of the field by Brendan Murray. A long one dropping right down towards Murphy, the full forward. He gets up, he's been tackled and harassed. The referee allows play to go. Still Murray with the ball. Sends it out to the number 13, McCarron, I think. Hits the post and comes back to Nudie Hughes. Nudie's shot being blocked down. It's blocked there, it's a 45. Monaghan now. Eamon McEnany, a great kick from Eamon, going to the left. It's gone over the bar, a lovely pint. Eamon McEnany, the Monaghan man to strike this one. He kicks it high and he kicks it right over the bar. It's another pint for Monaghan and McEnany. Great kicker of a placed ball. This is not going to go over the bar. It's blocked down by a Monaghan man. But at least a free out. Free out for Laois. Eugene Nudie Hughes, a shot from Eugene Nudie Hughes, dropping away down the far side of the field. Kevin Carraher once again with the ball, a shot from Kevin, and it's over the bar. A great pint, Ray McCarron. A great pint point for McCarn. What a point.
In the following 2 years, 1987 and 1988, Monaghan contested the National League semi-final in both years, but were denied by Kerry and Dublin respectively.
He just couldn't spot him. Nudie Hughes to David Byrne. There's surely a point here. That surely is the first score for Monaghan. It is. David Byrne. Hugo Clarkin to attempt the free. He's trying to swing it in. Oh, he's judged it beautifully. That was a good one by Hugo Clarkin. Jerry McCarville, however, cutting out that attempted pass by Ger Power. David Byrne in support here, all on his own. David Byrne, the double solo. He'll have to go again because he doesn't have men free. He now has Eamon Murphy. He spotted him well. Eamon Murphy towards Ray McCarn. Chance of a goal here or a penalty. It's a goal. Hugo Clarkin it was who sent it in. Pat Spillane. It was intercepted by Declan Lockman. Pat Spillane should really have given it the first time when John Kennedy wanted it, and Monaghan come away. David Byrne play on to the referee even though there was a foul. Ger Lynch in any event apologised to his man. Here's Eamon Murphy to Gerard Hoey, the substitute. A great drive by Gerard Hoey. Ray McCarn is going to have a go. He's been very quiet in this game so far, Ray McCarn. But that's a good effort. It's swung over, and that narrows the gap to 3 points, and the Monaghan supporters are just a little bit happier now. Sean McKenna, who's had a good game at left full-back for Monaghan, tidying up. Down towards Eugene Hughes, but Gerald Lynch was quicker and more urgent in his play there. But he's lost it. It's come to Michael O'Dowd. Eamon Murphy, there's a man in support. It's Ray McCarn, a good drive to Ray McCarn. He can take a point for there. He went for height, he went for air, but he was very accurate. Ray McCarn swings it over, and the Monaghan flags are flying now, the blue and white. Kieran Murray. Ger Lynch to knock it down to Nudie Hughes. There's 2 points between them. There's only one now, thanks to that man Nudie Hughes. Kerry trying to set up the combination football. Declan Lockman in the breach for Monaghan. Nicely through to David Byrne. They come looking for the equaliser again. They're playing with confidence and conviction, Monaghan. They believe that they can still save this match. And they have plenty of time too, because there's 15.5 minutes of play left. Eamon Murphy to try to keep it in play. He just can't. Tom Spillane was with him all the way. It's just not running too kindly this afternoon for Eamon Murphy, but Tom Spillane is having another excellent game at full-back. Just a point between them, 1-7 to 1-6, 10 points to 9. Nudie Hughes to David Byrne. A good delivery by David Byrne, but there are 3 Kerrymen in there. It's in the net by Michael O'Dowd. Well, as that ball came in from David Byrne, what happened was that there were too many Kerrymen there. Between them, they muffed it. Eamon Murphy, Tom Spillane has come very forward. Ray McCarn. He'll try to lob one here, Ray McCarn. It looks good. The umpire was hesitant just for a moment, but 7 minutes to go. Tommy Doyle. But it's won by Eugene Hughes, and he's won himself a free. Quickly towards David Byrne. Eamon Murphy screaming for the ball at full forward, but David Byrne is going all the way for a point here. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get it. I won't be surprised. He has got it. Paddy Linden will take this kick out. Here's Eugene Hughes. We're in the last minute of the match to Eamon Murphy. There's 2 points between them, however. And he's overcarried Eamon Murphy. It's been a frustrating afternoon for the big man.
But 1988 was to see Monaghan back again as Ulster champions, defeating Tyrone in a closely contested final in Clones.
The team of officials today come from the Tempo Club in County Fermanagh, and the man in the middle, the man in charge, is Damien Campbell. And already from the beginning, Monaghan have pushed Bernie Murray, selected at number 11, into midfield, and the number 11 of the Cavan team, Michael Faulkner, not surprisingly, starts in his familiar role.
When Joe Riley of Comoradh County Down, please go to the
Lockman's free kick for Monaghan, the first of the game. David Byrne starting at left half forward to Nudie Hughes. Nicely judged, the first score of the game, with 25 seconds gone, and Nudie Hughes, the man who got it. It's amphitheatre that is Clones, the big crowd on the hill. Isn't that a massive crowd for a first round championship game? McDonald, Faulkner, Donahue await the line ball. So does John Brady. But it's won in there by Brendan Murray for Monaghan. Back in again. Bona Carlin. Eamon Murphy, Nudie Hughes. Hughes has made a super start to this match. Into Owen Hamilton. Hamilton looks for the posts. That's where they are. That's where he'll find them. And Monaghan go double scores. 4 points to 2. Karen comes for it on his favourite left foot. And Riley under pressure from Eamon Murphy. That's a good save by the Killen-Kerr goalkeeper. Now, Derek McDonald and Cavan at last see some space ahead of them. That's Declan Lockman chasing McDonald. Good run by the 13. Good point. The first opportunity that Derek McDonald has had in the game, and how he accepted it. Callagher and Cullivan challenging for him. Callagher took a knock as he went down. All very ragged in there. Ronan Carlin playing it forward. A little too high for Brady, but reaches Faulkner. Looks up at the target. Has a pot. Oh, how about that? Michael Faulkner. Break here by Kieran Murray, the captain of Monaghan. What a footballer. For me, there's no better footballer in the country anywhere than the man from Centenary Cup. Referee's calling for the ball, and he'll keep it for about 10 minutes or so, because that's the end of the first half, at the end of which Cavan lead by just 1 point, but they have to face a fairly stiff breeze in the second half. The question they'll be asking and will be asking is 1 point enough in the weather conditions. Same personnel to start the second half, but so many switches. Jerry McCall slow to turn. Oh, well picked up, and legally too, by Gene Sherry. Declan Lockman. Nudie Hughes. Murphy pulls away to the right to give him an option. He doesn't need it. Philip Smith's gone midfield. Partner Ronan Carlin. Finlay Cal's gone centre half forward. Ray Cullivan left half forward. Faulkner's returned to the square. Ah, there's so much happening. Ronan Carlin. Kieran Murray, playing on his home pitch actually, his hometown. And the inevitable Nudie, who really is the thorn in Cavan's side today. Once awarded an All-Star as a defender. Comes to Nudie Hughes. 7 minutes second half gone, it's 11-8, and Monaghan lead. Ray McCarron, Eamon McEnany, Bernie Murray, point. Bernie Murray the scorer. McEnany made it for him, but really the Cavan marking is atrocious at the moment. Kenton Cal, a point, but it certainly looked from here as though a goal was there for the taking. But I suppose the score is not to be sneezed at. Faulkner gets around Jerry McCarville, plays it into Ronan Carlin, was hit very hard at Carlin, and Lockman was able to accept the crumbs. Playing it up to Nudie Hughes. Nudie has a look. He has Murphy inside him. He has Eugene Kiernan beside him. And Kiernan stays goal side. Nudie looks up. Ah, that is sweet. How sweet thou art. We've seen little of Nudie Hughes, but as soon as he got a chance, he made it tell. He's had a brilliant match. Sheridan, the fullback, Jerry Sheridan. The man free for him. Cavan build it up. Aidan Waters, Michael Faulkner. Faulkner to Stephen King. Stephen King in towards Paddy Linden. And Linden's in trouble. And Eugene Sherry was the quickest to react as Derek McDonald threatened for Cavan. Stephen King has fouled. Well, Paddy Linden looked to have his eye on the ball, everything comfortable. And Eugene Sherry did well. That's good defending by Sherry. good ball, Fintan Cal. Fouled again. The Monaghan defence very prone to the foul. And this young man, Ronan Carlin, has a chance of his 10th point of the game. Well, no sooner said than done. 10 points for one player is enough to win many a game. Nudie Hughes. The magnificent Nudie Hughes, who's had one of his best ever games in that Monaghan jersey today. This is a crucial free kick. Eamon McEnany slipped at the wrong moment. Jerry Sheridan dropped it. The referee's on the spot. And it is all out for Monaghan, a penalty kick. A point ahead, 10 seconds to go. You're a point ahead. Eamon McEnany obeys. He better. It's over. A famous victory for Monaghan.
There's Sean Donnelly, the Trillick man. Sean clears it way upfield for Tyrone, but it's held back here for Monaghan by Kieran Murray. Nice fielding here by Kevin Carraher. Possibly nobody really prepared to go up with him, but the referee blows his whistle. He will award the free to Monaghan inside their own half. Jerry McCarville, who appears to be operating or acting as third centre field man. This is Eugene Hughes now, 25 yards out. Oh, it's a curling one, and it's a beauty. It's over the bar. Well, Nudie is still, as you can see, on the ground, and when play resumes, it will be a 13-metre free into Monaghan. And as you can see, Nudie Hughes is limping, and surely that will curtail. Eamon McEnany will take the free, and he's put it wide. Nudie and Noel McGinn battling for possession there on the far side, but the linesman over there on the far side. Line ball to Monaghan. Jerry McCarville now lobbing it into the goal mouth. Aidan Skelton out to Paddy Ball. Oh, John Lynch there. The right place at the right time. Out after it here will be Kieran Murray on the far side. Back into Ray McCarran. Ray McCarran 25 yards out, left footed high. And he sends it over the bar. With almost 22 minutes into the first half, as Aidan Skelton now prepares to kick out. Right down towards the side of the field. The high breaking coming here from Bernie Murray. Bernie's all alone now, racing upfield. 20 yards out, right footed, high, and it's over the bar. Bernie Murray getting his name on the scroll of fame. Kieran Murray will take the kick. Referee having a word there a moment ago with one of the Tyrone men. Oh. Noel McGinn now with this one. It's about 55 metres out. Noel lobs it right into the goal mouth. A dangerous ball. Bernie Murray is back here. Kevin Carraher there. Apparently got a knock off the post there as he got it out. David Byrne now moving up along the far wing for Monaghan, the lowish ball, but two Tyrone men to meet it. This is Paddy Ball. Paddy doesn't get rid of it as he might like to. Eamon McEnany lobbing one now, and Skelton comes out of the goal. There's nobody home now. As Nudie Hughes has got it, he takes a shot, and it's a goal! It's a goal! His anticipation was nice, but failing to hold on to the ball. Ball breaking out to Nudie Hughes. He moved inside. There was nobody in the office, and Nudie bashed it in. And here he is again now, leaving Raymond Monroe behind for a moment. Still Nudie Hughes, right-footed high, straight and over the bar. This very, very classy player. And I think that, 7 or 8 moments ago, he looked as though he might go off the field. Eamon McEnany will take it. There are supporters that could recall the day when Eamon would tap them over from around this area. This one high out over the end line, sent in there by PJ Finlay, the Ballybay clubman, and the ball has gone wide. High down into the centre. Little stalemate. Then here is Bertie Murray, forced to run out over the sideline, but the referee penalising the Tyrone man for a... Oh! Paul Byrne now in the game to watch very carefully the movements of Eamon McEnany as the referee gets the second half underway. David Byrne back to Declan Lockman now. Oh, into Nudie on the 13, he takes a shot and he sends it over the bar. The shortish one in the direction of Jerry McCarville. Jerry awaits for the ball to dribble back there to Nudie Hughes. Plunkett Donaghy beside him. Still Nudie. Kick half blocked down, tipped a little bit upfield. Paddy Ball. Back here is Bernie Murray. Bernie Murray gets it into the centre now to McCarran. Ray McCarran, 45 metres out. Ball knocked away from him for a moment, but he retrieves it. Plunkett Donaghy beside him, and Ray's left-footed kick curling out towards the right as Kevin Carraher watches it go out over the end line. The score remains 8-7. 1 point between them. So Aidan Skelton will kick out once again for Tyrone. Oh, something happened someplace. Over there on the far side. Little referee is running over now to have a word with the linesman. I think he may head back out in the... No. Well... They say what they don't know won't sicken them. So let's leave good enough alone. Aidan Skelton. Broken down, Jerry McCarville out to Ray McCarran, 35 yards out. Ray's kick is high, and Ray's kick has gone out over the end line. With the score remaining, 1 goal and 5 points for Monaghan and 7 points for Tyrone. Once again, Aidan Skelton. Indeed, in the second half up to now, well, it has been Monaghan that are doing most of the attacking. Having said that, Paddy Ball along the ground, coming down with their Patsy Carolyn, breaking it out to the right, here to Kevin McCabe now, 25 yards out, left footed high and over the bar. Kevin McCabe, this wonder player on the Tyrone side. So Paddy Linden will kick out. High, down to the centre, David Byrne out there, breaking it, Eamon McEnany. Monaghan certainly surplus support around the centre of the field. This is Bernie Murray now on the far side, and this is Eugene Hughes. Still Nudie Hughes, plays it back to McEnany, 45 yards out, way up along the far side. Bernie Murray running into a little bit of trouble, but the referee blows his whistle, so he will award the free about 30 metres out from the Tyrone goal. About 30 metres out, and Ray McCarran going out to take this one. It, well, hasn't up to now really been Monaghan's day as regards free kicks, placed balls, but Ray sending this one right into the goal mouth, into the arms of Aidan Skelton. Stephen Thompson, the dangerous one, right into the goal mouth, held back here by Declan Lockman. Out to the far side where PJ Finlay collects it. PJ's 40 yards from his own goal. Right footed up along the far side. A little piece of pushing here, but Eugene Hughes after Ray McCarran on the 20-metre line, going in front of the goal. Skelton blocks it down and gets it out at the 45. Deputising McCreenan for the referee, and quite adamant that this ball will be placed in the right place. A little bit of pushing here and a lot of niggling in the game. Mickey O'Dowd. It appears as though he is going to throw up the ball. And it looks as though Stephen White is in the game now. Stephen White is in for Monaghan. We'll follow the play. McGinn gets it up through the centre, out towards the right here now. O'Hagan is after it, and so also Brendan Murray. And this, lively cornerback in the Monaghan side is grounded. Paddy Linden to kick out. The shortest one this time, Declan Lockman back here, out to David Byrne. Burns left-footed one up through the centre. The hopping ball deceiving. Sean Donnelly for a moment, Nudie Hughes. Still Nudie Hughes, 25 yards out. Forced to play it out to his right to Jerry McCarville. McCarville with the right-footed one that's high, and it's over the bar and the sides are level once again. Here's Eamon with the kick. Ooh, very, very close one. The goalkeeper, the referee awarding a free out. Here we've got Eugene McKenna now, 55 metres out. Didn't quite go where he might have liked it to. Kieran Murray back here. Out to Byrne, David Byrne now on the far side. Still Byrne working his way past two Tyrone men. Taps it into Michael O'Dowd. Back to Byrne, 35 yards out, left-footed high and over the bar. Here with Harry McClure now for Tyrone. Gets it out to his right to Conway. Stephen Conway with the right-footed curling ball. Damien O'Hagan, well, possibly waiting for the hopping ball, but Brendan Murray gets it way upfield. And here with Monaghan attacking now, and Jerry McCarville. McCarville out here to the left to Ray McCarran, and this one must be a certain one. Yes, it is over the bar. Ray McCarran. A Tyrone side that could be moving into a little bit of trouble now. Monaghan doing quite well. Out towards this side. The breaking ball now to Owen Hamilton. Hamilton takes a shot and it's a point. There's a little over 2 minutes left in the game. 1 point between them. And here comes Paddy. Down towards the far side. Sean McNally certainly making a big difference from he came into the game. And here we have Tyrone now and Kevin McCabe, and he was pulled there, but the referee apparently gave him an advantage. It looked as though it was all over for a moment for Monaghan, but the ball cleared way upfield here, very close to the sideline. Michael O'Dowd, still Michael O'Dowd, cutting across into the centre. Plays it way out to the far side where there were two Monaghan players standing, and here's the shot, and there's the point. Oh, they got the message that time all right, because there it is. The chairman presenting the trophy over to the captain, Kieran Murray. And what a very touching moment. Well,
there's terrific Monaghan support here as well. I would estimate the support for both teams this afternoon about 50-50 really, which reflects great credit, I think, on a much smaller county like Monaghan.
But on a windy day in Croke Park in the All-Ireland semi-final against Cork, the county's chances of appearing in an All-Ireland final were literally blown away.
And there's an alert. Bernie Murray drilling it onto Eamon McEnany. There's very slack marking against McEnany, who's through. But good covering by Coleman Corrigan. A great rescue and recovery save. Larry Tompkins is going to be the penalty taker. Paddy Linden, the Monaghan goalkeeper. It's 4 points to 0. Saved! Oh, a brilliant save by Paddy Linden. Well, he made amends for the error, and he has yet to be beaten in this year's championship. Monaghan needing a score badly to give themselves a bit of encouragement. Eamon McEnany might be the one to supply that. Through it goes towards Bernie Murray. Their first chance, back to Ray McCarron on the left boot, it goes and it's over the bar. It's taken Monaghan 28 minutes to score. Ray McCarron has done the needful. And this was how it came. Bernie Murray was very much involved in the build-up. It was a good lay back to McCarron, and from those positions he doesn't miss. And while it's Declan Loughman, once again taking this ball forward, that will have given them a bit of encouragement. And Stephen White trying to get away from Dennis Walsh, and he succeeds! Oh, saved by Maguire! Paddy Linden's kick is low this time. Jerry McCarville not expecting it. It comes to the man who's marking him, Conor Coonahan. He's going to go on alone, and it goes in and goes over the bar, I think. The referee goes in, however, he's giving it as a free out. Paddy Linden, will this be the last kick of the first half? Indeed it will. And Cork go in then, leading at the end of the first 35 minutes by 7 points, having kicked 14 wides in all. Larry Tompkins having kicked a penalty wide. He scored 4 points in all to make the position at half-time. Cork 8, Monaghan 1. But Monaghan, remember, will be aided by the breeze for the second 35 minutes. Stephen White seems to be playing around the half-forward line. Dennis Walsh goes to follow. The lay-off to Eamon McEnany. And Monaghan will want an early response. Declan Flanagan wasn't ready for the pass, but Nudie Hughes was. Goes to ground, then wins the free. Niall Cahalane shakes his head and say, no, I never touched him. But Seamus Pryor saw it as a free in for Monaghan, and this should be their second score. Eamon McEnany from Castleblaney didn't kick a point in the Ulster final, was replaced in that game. And there it is, Monaghan get their second point within the first minute of the second half. This time Ray McCarron is going to be the one from that camera then behind the goal. You'll be able to judge his angle. And that's on its way, and they've got another point, a third point, a second from McCarron. Jerry McCarville just gets it down to Brendan Murray. Runs into two Cork players, then releases it. Barry Coffey here. Thought about a pass outside, inside for Dave Berry. Good position. Oh, great goal! Eamon McEnany's kick from 30 metres. Dips down low, but over the bar. Monaghan's fourth point. McEnany has kicked 2 of those, both coming from frees. McEnany in towards Nudie Hughes. Eamon Murphy! Oh, it's wide! Monaghan's best chance without any doubt. From the free, Nudie Hughes couldn't hold it. But watch for Eamon Murphy stealing inside. It was a very good position, just needed a flick. Certainly the significant moment in this game so far seems to have been in the 6th minute of this second half, that Dave Barry goal. It's settled down Cork, given Monaghan an awful lot to do. Murphy here. That's high and over.
So another bitterly disappointing experience for Monaghan on the All-Ireland stage.
Thoroughly disappointing afternoon for Sean McCaig as well. What can he do?
Parade of the teams you see taking place, and leading Monaghan, that's Frank McEnany, the midfielder, who's a brother of Pat, of course, who refereed last year's All-Ireland football final. Goalkeeper Glenn Murphy was first choice in '94 for the county and returns again. He's been such an influence over the years, Henry Downey, but they're missing his brother Seamus, who made his arrival in the championship a bit earlier than Henry. Monaghan coping fairly well early on with the first few attacks sent down. Pumping this one in well. Broken down nicely. Oh, Flanagan misses it completely, but the referee says he was held, and that's going to be a penalty. It'll be Peter Duffy from Castleblaney, who are, of course, the county champions in Monaghan, to take this penalty. He's going for it. Oh, and he's hit the post and it's come out. Very hard luck indeed. So it'll be Stephen McGinnity and Declan McKiernan who'll be taking the frees for Monaghan this afternoon. First McGinnity curled in and curled over the bar. The equaliser for Monaghan coming from the boot of Stephen McGinnity. Eamon McEnany, who was a wonderful free taker himself. You'll remember the 45 or thereabouts that he pointed in the All-Ireland semi-final in '85. Just dropping and nicely popping over the bar for Stephen McGinnity. So yet another free for Monaghan. And this one's right between the posts, and it's the correct decision to give it to McGinnity. Daly knocking that one down there towards McGinnity once again. Monaghan's free taker in chief. And that once again is Duffy getting away. Oh, he's gone right through! And a great goal! Peter Duffy from Castleblaney, after 18 minutes, has finally cracked it. So once again, it's McGinnity. And that time he knocks it confidently over. Well, we've seen the consternation in the past that they have caused the Derry defence when they pump in high balls. Here he comes again, he's going for a score. This time it comes down, and the referee noting that there was a man inside the small square, and that's going to be a free out, I think. McGinnity takes the free kick. Good, strong running here. John Conlon linking up once again with Dermot McArdle. McKiernan taking it back. Next is Mark Daly. 2 against 2 in front of the goal, and look, more trouble, and another one! My goodness me!
Dermot Duffy is picking up Joe Brolly, and Noel Martin has followed Dermot Heaney back down the field, and that's how he ended up down there.
Sean McCaig there on the left must be wondering, is this going to be one of those big days in the history of Monaghan football? Free as far as Dermot McArdle from Monaghan. Oh, O'Neill's missed it completely and left it there for Peter Duffy, and this is the man who can cause all kinds of problems with his pace, with his football, and the referee says, not with that kind of steps, he took far too many, he says. The man who is the greatest threat to Derry, and is a player on the ground, McCormack, the player who seems to have felled one of the Monaghan players, was Joe Coyle, just as Monaghan were threatening to build a move. And he's been sent off. And the referee is also calling aside Joe Coyle. And he's gone. My goodness. Down to 14 men each. Joe Cassidy kicking it, but making a bit of a hash of that one. Falling on the ground as he hit the ball rather tamely at Glenn Murphy. And Joe Cassidy is still down with an injury. So, it's Duffy here. Still Peter Duffy. And the other goal scorer, Noel Martin, wasn't too far away from him there in support. Here he is. This is McArdle. Dermot McArdle advancing for Monaghan. And that's just gone inside the left-hand post, although the Derry players are protesting furiously that it was wide. So Derry 12 points, Monaghan 11. Plenty of time remaining. Fed inside by Duffy. That's McArdle saying take it back. Peter Duffy does. And his shot has gone between the posts, and it raises a huge cheer. A point to add to the goal he scored after 18 minutes of the first half. Stephen McGinnity curls it well, ties it up once more. 5 points for McGinnity. So this a very important kick. He's got it right, and he puts it over for his first point of the day. down there towards Peter Duffy. And the fans of Monaghan here really coming to life every time he gets possession. Look at his pace, oh dear. That was some challenge. Now the referees decided it wasn't a fair shoulder challenge by Emmett McKeever. Derry will feel very, very lucky indeed that they didn't give away a free there, because there was clearly a sandwich. McKeever may have been lucky not to be sent off, but surely he deserved a booking. Cassidy breaking it down. Here's a late chance, great stop by Glenn Murphy. McGuckin was bearing in on goal, but it was a wonderful save. Monaghan stay in the match.
The 90s was to hold no better luck for them until the final year of the decade, when the under-21 footballers took the Ulster title back to the county for the first time in 18 years, and the hurlers had brought a second All-Ireland title to Monaghan when they took the junior championship of 1997 and went within an ace of putting All-Ireland titles back to back the following year, only to be denied by Meath by 3 points. Still, it was celebrations on the double in 1999 when, the same weekend as the under-21 footballers took the Ulster Championship, Sean McCaig was elected as Uachtar an Tofa, Common Luchlas Gael, being the first Monaghan man to achieve that honour. And it was celebration all the way from Sean re-entered Monaghan territory at a Clint Bridge outside Carrickmacross until he arrived in procession in his native Scottstown on Sunday evening, having been in Omagh to witness the under-21 championship success earlier in the afternoon.
Oh, he's one of the greatest. We're so proud of him.
This club has had many highlights in its time, but without doubt the election of Sean McCaig as president of the GAA is the finest moment in the club's history.
We went to Dublin on Thursday and Friday with a lot of fear and intrepidation, but we came home this evening with two very important things. We came home with Uachtar an Tofa, Common Luchlas Gael, and we come home with the Irish News Trophy with the under-21s.
I'd like you to give a very warm welcome to Uachtar an Tofa, Sean McCaig.
The Sean McCaig that went up to Dublin on Thursday is the same Sean McCaig that came back down the road, warts and all. I haven't changed just because you put a title after my name. I'm very proud of Scottstown, I'm very proud of Monaghan, I'm very proud of the GAA. And as long as I live, I hope I neither do anything nor say anything that in any way will disappoint one of you, one iota. For a kid,